They say that the love of a family is life's greatest blessing. Ohana means family, and every other cheesy quote about family you can think of. Sure, those are great quotes, but what does family mean to you personally? Over my 18 years of living, I've come to a realization that family is the most important thing to me. Now, don't get me wrong. So do my friends, especially my closest friends, who have become like family to me. When I was born, as my parents put it, I'm their miracle child, but I'm their only child, so I hope I'm their miracle child. Oh, okay, wait. If we're gonna show the importance of this moment, we better do this right. This part isn't cute, I'll be honest. It's not those adorable little baby photos with cute little flowers on their head and wrapped in a fuzzy blanket. It genuinely kind of shocks me every time I look at these photos. It's hard to believe that that's me. Yep, that's me. The reason I'm encased in an incubator? Skin as thin as tracing paper, and lungs that could barely work. Born 4 months early and was given barely a 50% chance of surviving. When the doctor told my parents this, my parents never gave it a second thought. They were going to fight to keep me alive. It was the last thing they ever did. When my parents told me that, I was in shock. They had so much faith in me that I would live, even with such a high possibility of me not surviving. That story, to me, shows that even though I almost didn't make it and had a very slim chance of surviving, my parents loved me unconditionally and had so much faith I would make it. Personally, shows how much they loved me so quickly, and looking back throughout my life, just how much more they've come to love me over the years. But unconditional love didn't just stop at my parents. My grandparents, oh boy, that was also unconditional from the beginning. When I was in the hospital, my grandfather found it difficult to see me in the state I was in. And he said he'd see me when I got home from the hospital. He found it heartbreaking to see me like that, but when I finally got home from the hospital, he came running upstairs and asked where I was. My mom always says I took over her position of being his little girl. Over time, I've come to realize that your immediate or personal family are the most forgiving, understanding, and loving people you will ever have in life. They understand the situations and things you go through the best they can to try and help you through it. Well, for example, my grandfather passing away. About 1.5 years ago, my grandfather passed away, and I still find it hard to believe it after all this time. One memory I remember between my grandparents vividly was when my grandfather was laying in bed, frail and unable to do such simple things like eat or even talk because of all the mini strokes he'd had within the 2 weeks of being there. He motioned my grandmother over, pulled her close, and hugged her, gave her a kiss, and told her how much he loved her. It may not seem like a lot, but to us, it was a lot. My grandparents never said, "I love you," on a regular basis, if ever it seemed. Over the past months leading to my grandfather's stroke, though, they had been showing each other they cared through simple acts. Cleaning the dishes for the other, making the other's bed, helping with supper, and other small acts. To them, that was their way of showing they loved each other. As human beings, though, we sometimes feel as though we're alone, and that we are the only ones feeling the way we feel. But that's not always the case. After my grandfather passed away, I confided in my family, especially my mom. In times like those, we can rely on our family to be there for us because they truly know what we're going through. Because they're going through it with us, and are hurting, suffering, and grieving just like you are. I've gone through a lot of friendships in my lifetime. Elementary school is one thing, and then high school is another. But one thing I've learned is that when you find those closest friends, they'll love you and understand you no matter what, and they'll always be there for you. But the one thing that's really nice about certain friendships is that no matter how long you've been apart, when you meet up again, it feels like nothing's changed. No time has passed or anything. Over my 18 years of living, I've come to a realization. The family and friends I have are some of the best people I have ever met in my life. Family to me is important, and I don't know where I'd be without them. But what do friends and family mean to you?